The photograph that you've just seen is a photograph of Parachute Regiment soldier Tony Harrison. I didn't know Tony Harrison, but I had a lot in common with Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison was serving his country in Northern Ireland, protecting the people of Northern Ireland from vicious terrorists. Tony, as we used to do when we did long tours in Northern Ireland, went out socialising as well as doing all the hard stuff, as well as going out patrolling and doing VCPs and OPs and all the other stuff. Tony met a girl in East Belfast, or from East Belfast, and fell in love with her, and they got engaged. One night in 1991, Tony was sitting in his mother-in-law-to-be's house with his fiancée, watching television, when IRA gunmen burst into the house in East Belfast and shot Tony in the back, killing him instantly. Why is this case so important? Well, it's important to me because I used to do exactly the same as Tony. I used to go down to my girlfriend's house, sit and watch TV, have a few drinks, go out to the local bars, all the while the murder machine that was the provisional IRA was watching us and targeting us. But there's something a lot more sinister about the murder of Tony than shooting at a soldier who's on foot patrol in West Belfast, or getting involved in a gun battle with soldiers on the border in South Armagh. The insidious nature of shooting an unarmed man in the back when he doesn't even have any time to respond is the height of cowardice. These men were not heroes or freedom fighters, they were cold-blooded murderers. But what about the murderers of Tony? Well, we know that we know who the driver was. The driver admitted openly to being involved in this murder. He admitted openly to it in television interviews, in his book, and the murderer is known as Martin McCartland, or Agent Carroll, another one of the RUC or Army's assets within the Provisional IRA. But the interesting thing and the shocking thing and the chilling thing is this. Agent Carroll told his handlers that he'd been involved in the murder. He wasn't arrested. He told his handlers the names of the people who'd been involved in the murder, and they weren't arrested. That leads me to one conclusion, that not only was Martin McCartland working for the security forces, which we know he was, and was involved in this murder, but we know, or we can guess, that the men who walked into that house and gunned down that innocent young man, and yes, he was innocent for the IRA propaganda machine, British soldiers, a young British soldier sitting with his girlfriend off duty watching television in East Belfast, is an innocent man. And the men that murdered him will be getting older now, and soon they will go to their graves. And I believe everyone stands before God in judgment, and those men will have to stand before God and answer for the crimes that they've committed. And we see more and more of these wicked, evil Provisional IRA men slipping off this mortal coil. They may have escaped judgment in this life, but they will not escape judgment in the next. But why is it important that the killers of Tony are outed and exposed today? Because if indeed these men were working for the security forces, and they were working de facto for the British state has huge questions to answer, and the Provisional IRA and the provisional movement as a whole has huge questions to answer. Because it would appear that that organisation was riddled from top to bottom with informants. And if they're informants and they were working for the state, then their little deals with the state, their little letters of comfort from Tony Blair should be null and void, because if British soldiers and British policemen can be pursued for things that happened during the Trouble because they were working for the state, well, what about the agents of the state that were within the IRA, that were within Sinn Féin? Surely they must answer for their crimes as well. I want to salute Tony, a true hero, a British hero, a man who was doing his bit for his country and who was murdered in the most callous and disgusting way. We need to start remembering men like Tony Harrison. We must never forget them. We must never forget the blood that they shed in an attempt to bring peace to Northern Ireland. I want to thank that last video. The inspiration for that really came from my friend John Yates. John did a very similar video a couple of days ago. And if you look in the description below, there's a link to John's YouTube site. John is a patriot from Northern Ireland, and he's a veteran of the Troubles. And it is worth listening to John's videos and seeing what he's got to say. So click on the video that I've shared below, and obviously subscribe to John's channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe, because time is short on social media. They're going to close us all down soon, and we need to be keeping in touch with each other. I've said this many times before. So yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also if you could subscribe to John's, that'd be absolutely amazing. Thanks.